What if I told you that you're not actually broke? You're just out of tune with your own quantum abundance. You see, money doesn't disappear. It doesn't avoid you. It simply follows energy. And right now, your money alignment might be broadcasting on the wrong frequency. You've been trained to chase wealth through logic, effort, and fear, while the real flow of energy and wealth happens silently beneath your awareness. This is not about working harder. It's about remembering how to listen. Most people think they have financial problems, but what they really have is energetic interference, invisible static in their abundance field. You've been manifesting, praying, affirming, visualizing, yet something still feels off, doesn't it? That's because abundance isn't something you chase, it's something you allow. The more you force it, the more it slips away. But when you shift your vibration of prosperity, money starts responding to you like a magnet finding its match. In this video, you'll learn how to manifest abundance without hustle, how to reprogram your subconscious money programming, dissolve resistance, and step back into the frequency of wealth that was always yours. Because being broke is never about numbers, it's about disconnection from your own wealth vibration. Once you realign your quantum energy, your outer world begins to reflect the inner upgrade instantly. It's not fantasy, it's quantum physics meeting spiritual truth. So, if you're ready to stop surviving and start receiving, this is your wake-up call. Stay until the end because I'll show you exactly how to perform a 5-minute abundance reset that rewires your energy field in real time. And if you're new here, make sure to subscribe and turn on notifications. This channel is where we decode the hidden science of spiritual finance, money mindset shift, and quantum manifestation for real-world abundance. Welcome to the next chapter of your wealth evolution. Most people think money is just numbers on a screen or paper in their hands, but in truth, it's energy in motion. Beneath every financial decision, there's a vibration of prosperity humming quietly, responding to what your subconscious believes you deserve. This hidden frequency of wealth doesn't care how hard you work. It mirrors how aligned your inner state is with abundance. That's why two people can work the same job, make the same effort, and yet one feels wealthy while the other is trapped in lack. It's not luck, it's energy alignment. Think about this. Every thought about your bills, every emotion when you open your bank app sends a signal into your abundance field. That signal becomes your money frequency. When it vibrates with fear, guilt, or resentment, it collapses your quantum wealth potential. But when it carries gratitude, certainty, and openness, it harmonizes with the law of attraction money flow. It's like tuning a radio. Abundance has always been broadcasting. You just need to dial into the right channel. He once met a man who earned a fortune, lost it all, and rebuilt it in 2 years. What changed wasn't his strategy, it was his money alignment. He stopped seeing money as an enemy to chase and started treating it like a relationship, one that responds to how you speak, feel, and believe. When you stop begging and start conversing energetically with your finances, the quantum manifestation begins to unfold naturally. That's not magic, it's resonance. Your subconscious mind has been programming money since childhood. Maybe you heard your parents argue about bills or saw someone rich being called greedy. Those moments wrote invisible scripts in your nervous system. Today, those scripts form your subconscious money programming, shaping your financial ceiling. Reprogramming that isn't about forcing affirmations, it's about feeling safety and trust again in your energy and wealth connection. Imagine every dollar as a particle of quantum energy that listens to emotion. When you feel scarcity, you command it to flee. When you feel expansion, you magnetize it back. Spiritual abundance doesn't begin in your wallet. It begins in your vibration. Your body becomes an antenna for the wealth vibration, transmitting to the abundance field around you. That's how people manifest wealth seemingly out of nowhere. They finally match the signal they've been asking for. He often tells his students, stop asking, how can I get more money? And start asking, what frequency am I broadcasting right now? The money mindset shift isn't about working harder. It's about becoming energetically coherent with what you desire. When the energetic abundance inside you stabilizes, your external world has no choice but to mirror it. Abundance doesn't respond to need, it responds to embodiment. And here's the twist most people miss. Your quantum abundance doesn't activate through logic, it activates through feeling. You can't think your way into wealth, you have to feel yourself into it. That's where the real journey begins. Because when you finally realize that manifesting money is more about vibration than strategy, you start to see why most manifestation teachings got it wrong from the start. But we'll get to that in the next part. Most people have been trying to manifest abundance the same way they chase a paycheck, through effort, pressure, and constant control. They repeat affirmations, visualize harder, journal longer, yet nothing seems to shift. The truth is, when you try to manifesting money from a place of lack, you reinforce the very vibration that blocks it. You can't attract wealth while broadcasting "I don't have enough." That signal cancels itself out before it even reaches the abundance field. The universe doesn't respond to words, it responds to frequencies. You could say, "I'm rich" 1,000 times, but if deep down your subconscious money programming still whispers, "I'm broke," that's the vibration that gets transmitted. This is why people get frustrated, because they think their problem is effort, when it's really energy alignment. True quantum manifestation starts when your emotional state matches the wealth you claim to desire. One of his clients, a woman drowning in debt, kept saying affirmations every day. "I am abundant, I am free." Yet, she'd check her bank account with fear and shame. Her money frequency wasn't aligned. Her actions and emotions contradicted her words. The moment she stopped obsessing over her lack and began celebrating tiny wins, a free coffee, a new client, her money alignment shifted. Within weeks, new opportunities appeared that logic couldn't explain. That's the vibration of prosperity in motion. We've been taught to work hard and push through, but in the quantum wealth paradigm, resistance collapses flow. Think of it like surfing. If you fight the wave, you fall. If you align with it, you glide. Spiritual abundance flows where energy feels safe, not forced. So the real work is emotional, healing fear, guilt, and comparison. That's the invisible wealth tax most people pay without knowing it. Energetic leakage. To reset this, stop trying to convince the universe and start listening to your own field. Your body will tell you when you're aligned. Does your chest tighten when you think about money? That's a sign of resistance. Does it expand when you imagine freedom? That's energetic abundance calling you back home. You don't need to hustle harder. You need an abundance reset. The field doesn't need convincing. It just needs coherence. The irony is that most manifestation advice is backwards. People try to feel abundant after they get results, but that's like waiting for the mirror to smile first. In quantum energy, the reflection always follows the feeling. So if you want abundance mindset mastery, start by embodying the frequency before the evidence shows up. That's what it means to live in faith instead of fear. It's spiritual physics, not fantasy. And that misunderstanding leads to the biggest illusion of all. People blame themselves for failing when they've actually been following broken instructions. It's not your fault you've struggled. The manual was incomplete. Because once you understand the spiritual finance mechanics behind why your results lag, you'll see that the real cause was never your lack of effort. It was a distortion in your field. And that brings us to the next revelation. Why your mistakes were never really yours to begin with. Most people carry guilt around their financial past. The wrong job, the lost investment, the bad decision that still echoes in their mind. But here's the truth. Those weren't failures. They were frequency lessons. In quantum wealth, nothing happens by accident. Every experience simply mirrors the state of your money alignment at that moment in time. You weren't making bad choices. You were manifesting from a field distorted by fear, scarcity, and unconscious beliefs. Think of reality as a feedback loop between your energy and your results. The abundance field doesn't punish or reward, it reflects. So when your vibration was low, your outcomes matched it perfectly. It's not personal, it's quantum energy at work. Once you understand this, guilt loses its grip. You realize your past didn't block your spiritual abundance. It trained your awareness to recognize misalignment faster. That's how growth happens in this invisible classroom. Quantum physics teaches us something extraordinary. Observation collapses possibility into reality. In other words, what you focus on becomes form. This is the same principle behind the law of attraction money dynamic. Your attention acts as a magnet. When you constantly observe debt, lack, or fear, you literally stabilize that version of reality. But when you direct attention toward gratitude, worthiness, and trust, you open portals for new wealth timelines to emerge. He often compares it to tuning a guitar. When one string is off, the whole instrument feels wrong no matter how well you play. That string is your emotion, your frequency of wealth. When it's out of tune, no amount of external strategy can create harmony. But once you recalibrate through energy alignment, every note, every opportunity, every relationship begins to resonate with your inner rhythm again. Suddenly, life stops fighting you and starts singing back. So Noah, your mistakes were never evidence of incompetence. They were breadcrumbs leading you to consciousness. Every financial fall pushed you closer to quantum manifestation mastery. If only you'd stop judging yourself for falling. The universe doesn't see failure, it sees feedback. The moment you replace shame with curiosity, the entire structure of your money mindset shift begins. That's where the healing starts. Not in the spreadsheet, but in the soul. To shift out of guilt, practice re-observation. Look at your past from a higher vibration of compassion. Say, that version of me was doing their best with the frequency they had. That one statement dissolves years of resistance in your subconscious money programming. Because compassion recalibrates faster than logic ever could. It's the ultimate abundance reset. The moment you stop fighting your history, it stops repeating itself. And once you realize that your so-called failures were just frequency feedback, you start noticing a new pattern. Moments of emotional misalignment drain your wealth faster than any market crash. Which is why in the next phase, we'll explore how low energy, not low effort, silently collapses abundance and drains your financial field before you even notice it happening. There's a reason why some days everything flows. Clients appear, money moves, ideas spark, and other days feel like walking through mud. That's not random, that's alignment. When your quantum abundance collapses, your outer world follows suit. You might still be working, planning, and trying, but your vibration of prosperity quietly slips into survival mode. The abundance field doesn't respond to effort, it responds to energy. And when that energy drops, opportunities fade, not because they disappeared, but because you stopped matching them. Think of your emotional energy as the Wi-Fi signal to your wealth. When your frequency weakens, the connection drops. Suddenly, money feels distant, goals feel heavy, and everything takes twice as long. That's not bad luck, that's low money alignment. If you've ever wondered why periods of exhaustion seem to attract unexpected bills or missed chances, it's because the energy and wealth spectrum is intertwined. When one dips, the other mirrors it instantly. Quantum Finance 101. He once coached a man who couldn't understand why his income kept fluctuating. Every time he felt stressed, clients cancelled, systems broke and payments delayed. It wasn't sabotage, it was synchronicity. His energetic abundance field would constrict with tension, cutting him off from the natural frequency of wealth. The solution wasn't another strategy session. It was learning to regulate his nervous system, breathe deeply, and let the quantum manifestation process rebalance itself. When you feel drained, your subconscious money programming interprets it as unsafe to receive. It's like trying to pour abundance into a cracked vessel. The leaks show up as procrastination, confusion, or even guilt about success. That's how low energy drains your bank account, not through missing opportunities, but by signaling to the universe that you're not ready for more. Remember, the law of attraction money principle isn't about chasing. It's about allowing. And allowing requires energetic stability. To realign, you must treat your body like sacred financial infrastructure. Sleep becomes wealth hygiene, rest becomes strategy, laughter becomes investment. A walk in nature, a moment of silence, a meal made with love, all of it recharges your wealth vibration. Spiritual abundance doesn't bloom in burnout, it blossoms in coherence. You can't radiate abundance mindset if your inner battery is dying. Wealth is just energy made visible, and energy obeys your care, not your calendar. So next time your income slows or clients vanish, don't panic. Pause. Ask yourself, where am I leaking energy? Sometimes it's overthinking, sometimes people-pleasing, sometimes fear disguised as ambition. By sealing those leaks, you perform an abundance reset at the quantum level. It's less about doing more and more about being aligned again. Because when your quantum energy stabilizes, the financial flow always returns, effortlessly, faithfully, predictably, and that realization leads to a deeper secret few ever learn. Sustainable abundance doesn't come from effort, but from structure, energetic structure. There are unseen foundations holding every flow of wealth together, and when you build them correctly, your finances stop depending on motivation and start depending on magnetism. In the next part, we'll uncover those 3 hidden pillars that make abundance effortless, unbreakable, and beautifully consistent. Most people chase abundance as if it were a finish line, but true quantum wealth rests on invisible architecture. There are 3 energetic pillars that silently sustain every flow of prosperity: belief, coherence, and contribution. When one weakens, your money alignment wobbles, and your flow feels unstable. But when all 3 stand firm, manifesting money stops being a struggle and becomes your natural state of being. You're no longer chasing the current, you are the current. The first pillar is belief, not intellectual, but embodied belief. Your subconscious money programming decides how much abundance feels safe. If your inner system only feels secure at a certain level of wealth, that's exactly where you'll stay. To expand it, practice feeling worthy of more without guilt or apology. Listen to your body. If you feel tension when receiving, that's resistance disguised as modesty. Spiritual abundance flows through those who believe they are conduits, not beggars. The second pillar is coherence, the alignment between thought, emotion, and action. Imagine trying to drive with one foot on the gas and the other on the brake. That's what most people do with their finances. They affirm, "I'm abundant," but act from fear. Coherence happens when your emotions support your affirmations. That's true energy alignment. The moment your internal world harmonizes with your external intentions, the frequency of wealth amplifies like an echo chamber of prosperity. The third pillar is contribution, the forgotten key to energetic abundance. Money is circulation, not possession. When you give your energy, service, wisdom, or kindness, you expand your abundance field. The act of sharing communicates trust to the universe. Even a small gesture, like tipping extra or gifting your time, sends a signal. There is more where that came from. That's how the vibration of prosperity multiplies. Generosity is the engine of infinite return. He once taught a client who was terrified of spending after years of scarcity. Her money blocks ran deep. Every purchase felt like danger. He guided her to start with symbolic generosity, buying flowers for herself, donating a small amount each week. Within months, her income rose unexpectedly. Why? She had re-entered the rhythm of quantum abundance. She stopped clutching energy and let it breathe again. That's the paradox. The more you release, the more the universe refills. These 3 pillars don't require rituals or complexity. They require consistency. Belief keeps you receptive, coherence keeps you magnetic, and contribution keeps you expanding. Together, they stabilize your abundance mindset, so wealth stops being episodic and starts being exponential. You stop asking, how do I get? And start living from, how can I circulate? That's how the law of attraction money principle truly unfolds, through energetic architecture, not chance. And once these foundations are in place, something remarkable happens. You no longer have to wait years for transformation. Alignment becomes instantaneous, but to sustain it, you need a tool, a daily practice to reboot your quantum energy whenever it drifts. And that's exactly what comes next. A 5-minute abundance reset that activates your field in real time and turns your vibration back into a magnet for wealth. He often says that energy doesn't need time, it needs permission. In just 5 minutes, you can realign your entire abundance field if you know how to tune it correctly. Close your eyes, breathe slowly, and imagine a golden current spiraling around your body. That current is your quantum energy, waiting to be directed. Each breath expands your frequency of wealth, reconnecting you to the vibration of prosperity that was never lost, only buried under stress and noise. Start with gratitude, not as a ritual, but as a frequency shift. Think of one thing you appreciate right now, even something small. Feel that warmth expand in your chest. Gratitude dissolves resistance faster than logic, because it bridges the gap between scarcity and flow. As that emotion amplifies, you send a signal of spiritual abundance through your nervous system. The universe listens through feeling, not words. And this is how quantum manifestation begins, not with thought, but with coherence. Next, visualize your financial field glowing brighter with each inhale. See streams of light entering your palms, your heart, your mind. Whisper silently, "I am aligned with quantum abundance." This isn't affirmation, it's calibration. You're retraining your subconscious money programming to feel safe in expansion. Safety is the gateway to wealth. Every inhale resets your money alignment. Every exhale releases what no longer serves your prosperity signal. Now, think of the people you've helped, directly or indirectly. Feel their gratitude echo back to you. That emotional feedback amplifies your energy and wealth frequency. Abundance doesn't come from isolation, it comes from circulation. The more you recognize your contribution to others, the more the law of attraction money principle multiplies around you. Giving and receiving are two halves of the same electromagnetic current. One cannot exist without the other. After that, imagine the flow of money, not as bills or coins, but as living energy. Picture it entering your life joyfully, moving through your hands, and expanding outward to bless others. That's energetic abundance in action. You're not getting money, you're channeling it. It's attracted to emotional clarity, not tension. When you maintain that clarity, even 5 minutes a day, your wealth vibration stabilizes like a finely tuned instrument humming in harmony with the field. He recommends doing this abundance reset daily, especially when you feel overwhelmed. No crystals, no complicated rituals, just breath, focus, and presence. That's all it takes to reprogram the field. Over time, these micro-alignments accumulate, reshaping your outer reality. Opportunities appear where fear used to be. The abundance mindset becomes less of a concept and more of a lifestyle, one that feels natural, peaceful, and profoundly magnetic. And once this practice becomes second nature, you start noticing a new phenomenon. You're not just stabilizing, you're accelerating. You begin jumping into higher wealth timelines effortlessly, as if life itself is rearranging to meet your frequency halfway. But how do you move from a state of calm alignment to a reality of exponential growth, from lack to launch? That's exactly where we're going next. Every version of you already exists. The one struggling to pay bills, the one thriving in quantum abundance, the one teaching others how to manifest wealth effortlessly. What separates them isn't time, but alignment. Each timeline vibrates at a specific frequency of wealth. When your emotional and energetic state rises, you automatically jump tracks. You don't climb toward abundance, you shift into it. This is how the quantum manifestation process unfolds beyond logic. Lack and launch are not opposites, they are frequencies. Lack is contraction, energy folding in on itself. Launch is expansion, energy trusting itself enough to move forward. To escape scarcity, you must stop arguing with it. Resistance anchors you to the old frequency. Acceptance, on the other hand, frees you to rise. That's why the first step in every abundance reset isn't action, it's surrender. You can't receive while gripping the illusion of control. He often uses the analogy of a rocket. The hardest part isn't the flight, it's the liftoff. Escaping gravity requires an enormous burst of focused energy, but once you're in orbit, momentum carries you. The same goes for money alignment. It takes effort to break old beliefs and subconscious money programming, but once the frequency stabilizes, wealth becomes self-sustaining. You no longer chase results. Results chase you. That's the real launch. One of his students, tired of living paycheck to paycheck, decided to act as if her future self was already living her dream life. She wrote emails with confidence, made decisions from abundance, and treated her small business like a $1 million brand. Within months, opportunities appeared that made no logical sense. She had shifted into her richest timeline, not by hustling, but by embodying the energy alignment her wealth required. The field simply adjusted around her. Moving into your quantum wealth timeline means behaving as if you already belong there. You stop asking, when will it come, and start asking, what does this version of me do now? That's the key to the money mindset shift. Action born from fear multiplies chaos. Action born from trust multiplies miracles. When your inner world matches your vision, the vibration of prosperity becomes visible through synchronicities, unexpected blessings, and financial expansion that feels almost supernatural. This shift isn't about escaping who you are, it's about remembering who you were before you forgot abundance was natural. You were born in coherence with spiritual finance, a system where giving, receiving, and being are the same act. You don't need to get rich, though. You need to stop identifying as poor. The real journey isn't from lack to money. It's from separation to union with your own energetic abundance. That's where everything begins to flow. And once you realize that your wealth is a mirror of your energy, the final question emerges. If you've done all the work, aligned your field, and raised your vibration, why does abundance sometimes still hesitate to appear? That mystery leads to the heart of the next revelation, the spiritual and emotional roots of money blocks, and why they're never really about money at all. The biggest illusion about money blocks is believing they're about money. They never are. They're echoes of unhealed emotions buried deep in the soul: rejection, fear, guilt, and shame. These emotional frequencies quietly dictate your money alignment, keeping your quantum abundance trapped beneath old identities. You're not struggling to receive because the universe is stingy. You're struggling because part of you still feels unworthy of receiving. Wealth is not a reward, it's a reflection. Every time you doubt yourself, the frequency of wealth flickers. Those invisible doubts are spiritual resistance, energetic brakes you didn't know you were pressing. The universe doesn't punish you for them. It simply mirrors them back through your abundance field. If you believe love and success are dangerous, your subconscious will protect you from both. That's why inner healing is financial healing. You can't master spiritual abundance without confronting the emotions that distort it. He once worked with a woman who had everything in place: clients, strategy, clarity, but her income never grew. When they explored deeper, she realized her father used to say, "Rich people forget who they are." Her subconscious money programming absorbed that phrase like scripture. Every time she approached expansion, guilt pulled her back. Only when she blessed her father's fear and chose a new belief, that wealth could amplify love, did her manifest abundance finally stabilize. Your nervous system is the gateway between your spirit and your finances. If your body feels unsafe in abundance, it will unconsciously reject it. This is where energy alignment becomes therapy. Instead of chasing affirmations, you learn to soothe your body until prosperity feels natural again. A walk in nature, a deep exhale, a quiet moment of self-forgiveness. These are not small acts. They are quantum manifestation recalibrations. The moment safety returns, flow resumes. Every soul carries ancestral memories, energetic imprints of survival and scarcity passed down through generations. When you declare your freedom from them, you're not just healing yourself, you're rewriting lineage. That's spiritual finance in action, releasing the karmic fear that money corrupts, replacing it with the truth that money amplifies who you already are. You're not meant to repeat your ancestors' limitations, you're meant to honor them by transcending them. When you see wealth as sacred energy rather than moral danger, energetic abundance becomes inevitable. You begin to spend, save, and invest with consciousness, not compulsion. You no longer hoard out of fear or give out of guilt. You circulate out of trust. That's how the law of attraction money truly works. Your outer flow mirrors your inner peace. You stop chasing money as a savior and start using it as a servant of purpose. And yet, even after clearing your emotional and spiritual blocks, some people still find that the flow pauses. They've done the healing, felt the alignment, and yet abundance hesitates. Why? Because there's one last piece, the invisible bridge between spiritual readiness and physical manifestation. In the next part, we'll reveal that final quantum bridge, the missing link between energy and tangible wealth that transforms everything you thought you knew about manifestation. The greatest paradox of quantum wealth is that the harder you chase it, the further it runs. Hustle may build income, but alignment builds empires. You've been conditioned to equate exhaustion with worthiness, to believe that suffering earns success. But in the abundance field, struggle scrambles your signal. The universe isn't impressed by your effort. It responds to your vibration. When you rest in energy alignment, you unlock the same frequency the most prosperous people live by: ease. This isn't about laziness, it's about energetic precision. Imagine trying to play an orchestra by screaming instead of listening. That's what hustle does. It overpowers the music of manifestation. The frequency of wealth operates in silence, flow, and intuition. When you stop forcing outcomes and start attuning to inspiration, ideas arrive, connections appear, and synchronicities multiply. That's not coincidence. That's quantum manifestation responding to coherence. He once met a man who had built a company through burnout, caffeine, and anxiety. On paper, he was rich; energetically, he was bankrupt. After learning about spiritual finance, he shifted his mornings from emails to meditation, his nights from fear to gratitude. Within months, revenue rose, even though he worked less. Why? Because he stopped broadcasting chaos into his abundance field. The wealth vibration doesn't multiply through tension, it expands through peace. To access the field of infinite wealth, you must unlearn the religion of struggle. That belief system tells you that effort equals value. But energy doesn't obey effort, it obeys resonance. Think of abundance like light. When you stop running and stand still, it finds you. Stillness is the new strategy. The moment your nervous system feels safety and sufficiency, your money alignment locks in. That's when abundance flows like gravity, quietly, constantly, inevitably. This doesn't mean you stop taking action. It means your action comes from inspiration, not desperation. In spiritual abundance, movement is guided, not frantic. You're not chasing, you're channeling. Your work becomes play, your service becomes prayer. This is what a true abundance mindset feels like, the freedom to create without the weight of survival. The law of attraction money doesn't require sacrifice. It requires surrender to your natural rhythm of receiving. When you rest in that rhythm, you start noticing how fast reality bends. Projects finish themselves. People appear at the right moment. Opportunities you once begged for now ask for you. That's the essence of energetic abundance, a state where you no longer measure wealth by hours or effort, but by harmony. The universe pays in proportion to your peace. The calmer your energy, the richer your timeline becomes. This is manifesting money without struggle, the new evolution of wealth. But even here, some still face frustration. They meditate, align, trust, and yet the results lag. They've done the work, but the bridge between energy and matter seems invisible. Why does abundance sometimes pause at the threshold of reality? Because there's a missing link, a final quantum bridge that connects inner vibration with outer evidence. And that's where our final revelation unfolds. There comes a moment when you've done it all, meditated, visualized, affirmed, healed, surrendered, and yet nothing moves. You feel aligned, peaceful, even grateful, but the manifesting money part still hasn't landed. That's when most people give up, thinking alignment doesn't work. But what's really missing isn't energy, it's embodiment. The quantum bridge between vibration and manifestation is physical action infused with consciousness. Energy without form is potential. Form without energy is hollow. Think of it like electricity. Alignment charges the current, but you still need to flip the switch. That switch is courageous, inspired movement, saying yes to an opportunity, applying for that position, starting that conversation. Too many stay floating in the abundance field, but never anchor it into reality. The frequency of wealth rewards those who merge spirit and structure. That's why quantum abundance isn't just about feeling abundant, it's about living as if you already are. He once mentored an artist who meditated daily on prosperity, yet refused to share her work. "I'm waiting until I'm ready," she said, but readiness never comes from perfection. It comes from participation. The moment she posted her first piece, buyers appeared within hours. She hadn't become luckier. She had finally built the bridge between energy and evidence. Her money alignment had existed all along. It just needed motion to become visible. Quantum manifestation is a dance, not a theory. This is the secret most teachers skip. Abundance doesn't fall from the sky. It crystallizes through decision. You don't need to hustle, but you do need to act. When you pair your spiritual abundance with small, consistent physical steps, the universe rushes to meet you halfway. Each action anchors a timeline. That's spiritual finance in its purest form, energy given direction. The more you embody the version of yourself who already has it, the faster reality obeys. Sometimes, the final block isn't fear, it's waiting. Waiting for signs, for approval, for perfect timing. But the universe doesn't reward hesitation. It rewards motion. When your abundance mindset is strong, every step you take becomes magnetic. You stop wondering if and start trusting when. That faith reshapes your wealth vibration. It's not reckless, it's receptive, because faith is the frequency the law of attraction money responds to most. And here's the paradox. When you stop chasing results and simply live as alignment itself, manifestation becomes ordinary. You send the email, make the offer, start the project, not to get money, but to express your coherence. Suddenly, the energetic abundance you cultivated begins flowing into physical form. You realize the bridge was never outside you, it was you. You were always the meeting point between energy and matter, between invisible and seen, between intention and creation, and that's where everything shifts. When you finally understand that quantum wealth isn't about earning, it's about embodying, the entire game changes. The bridge you were waiting for appears the moment you start walking. But this is just the beginning. Because now that you've built the bridge, the real question arises, how do you live permanently in that state of effortless flow? How do you make abundance your default vibration instead of a temporary miracle? That's the journey that begins here. So now that you've seen the truth behind your quantum abundance, the question is, what will you do with it? Will you keep waiting for a miracle, or will you start becoming the vibration that miracles respond to? Every time you choose calm over chaos, gratitude over fear, you're reprogramming your subconscious money programming and tuning yourself into the frequency of wealth. That's how real transformation begins, not overnight, but over awareness. Ask yourself, what version of me am I feeding today? The one anchored in lack, or the one aligned with energetic abundance? Because that choice is the real currency of life. Your money alignment doesn't depend on external validation. It depends on the energy you practice daily. Wealth doesn't come to those who deserve it. It comes to those who harmonize with it. Remember that next time your doubts whisper louder than your faith, you've learned that manifesting money is not about chasing, but allowing. You've seen how belief, coherence, and contribution build the foundation of effortless flow. You've even felt how quantum manifestation responds instantly when your field becomes stable. So take this wisdom and use it. Breathe slower, think higher, act braver. Let every choice remind your cells that spiritual abundance is your natural frequency. Now, I'll ask you something deeper. What if you stopped trying to get money and started becoming wealth itself? What if every breath, every idea, every act of kindness was an investment into your abundance field? Because it is. Energy is the real economy, and your attention is its currency. The moment you decide to see yourself as abundant, reality bends to match your decision. So don't just close this video and go back to the old rhythm. Do the 5-minute abundance reset tonight. Speak your affirmations with emotion, act from alignment, and watch how the vibration of prosperity begins to shape your physical world. You are not waiting for abundance. Abundance has been waiting for you to remember who you are. And if this message resonated with you, take a moment now to subscribe, like, and turn on notifications, because this journey doesn't end here. Every week, we uncover deeper layers of spiritual finance, money mindset shift, and the hidden laws that shape your reality. Let's grow together, not through struggle, but through alignment. Your next level of quantum wealth starts the moment you decide to stay awake.